Welcome to the ITV election interviews. Nigel Farage, let's take a quick look at the Brexit Party. Once again, Nigel Farage has taken centre stage during this election campaign, this time leading Westminster's new kid on the block, the Brexit Party. Mr Farage will lead his party into next month's election, but he will not personally stand to be an MP. The party indicated they'd stand in some 600 seats, but in an election U-turn last week, the Brexit Party said it wouldn't stand against the Tories in 317 Conservative-held seats. Instead, it's focusing its fight on winning seats in areas where Labour supporters voted. Nigel Farage, welcome. What do people get if they vote for the Brexit Party on December the 12th?
They get people who've come into politics not for careers, but done it because we actually want to get this referendum result delivered so that we're free of the European Union. We think politics is broken, rotten, corrupt, not serving the people anymore.
Was there anything you heard in the debate tonight between Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn that made you regret your decision to pull those candidates from all those Tory-held seats?
I could see that in the south of England, the southwest of England, where the Brexit Party takes predominantly Conservative votes, that's why I made that decision. So I think it was the right thing to do, to say to the Conservatives and others, this issue is bigger than any political party.
Would you wake up on December the 13th, blame yourself if your decision not to also remove candidates in Labour Leave areas leads ultimately to the UK staying in the EU?
Only one party that's put Brexit at risk, a party that says it believes in Brexit, that's put it at risk, that's the Conservative Party, by refusing to make any concessions at all. There are about 140 seats in this country that the Conservatives have never won and will never win. In the European elections a few months ago, this brand new party, the Brexit Party, topped the poll in every one of those seats. Now, in many of those, we will be the challenger to the incumbent Labour MP.
Let's look at some of the other policies of the Brexit Party. You want to offer people more direct democracy.
Yes.
What does that mean? Does that mean more referendums?
If people want referendums, they should have the right to call them. I think two things. Firstly, if there is a big issue, if people want a referendum on it, they should be able to get signatures and call for it. But secondly, you're going to have a written constitution that says any referendum like that actually is legally binding.
What sort of areas would you want referendums on, given 3 years on from the last one, we're in the state that we're in?
Well, unlike Nicola Sturgeon, I wouldn't want to rerun the Scottish referendum or rerun the Brexit referendum. A result of a referendum needs to be implemented first. But it's not for me to decide. It's for people to decide. You know, I'm suggesting that if 15 to 20% of the electorate sign a petition to say we want to have a say on this issue, they should be able to do so. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't mean lots of referendums. It wouldn't be like Switzerland with several every year, but once every few years, the public could call a vote. And I think that's a very good idea.
You want to cut the foreign aid budget in half. You want to use that money to spend on people in the UK. Where does that put our standing globally?
Well, what we've seen over the last few years is us consistently be the highest spender on foreign aid, doing it to meet arbitrary targets, spending it in ways that, when it comes to like, enrage many people in this country. I think trade, not aid, is where we should be heading.
Your quick-fire questions. What do you personally do to help the environment?
I have been for a few months now discussing an idea. When it comes to carbon dioxide, all we're talking about is cutting emissions. We're not talking about how it can be consumed.
Sorry, what do you
I want us to lead.
No, this isn't a party policy.
Look,
what do you, Nigel Farage, do to help the environment?
I drive all over the country. I catch a lot of aeroplane flights every year. I am not a leading example, but I do think what the United Kingdom should do is go to the United Nations and let's start a global initiative. Let's start planting trees on a massive, massive scale.
Can't give me one thing that you do personally to help the environment.
Well, how can I? I catch aeroplanes, I drive cars.
Okay. Will we leave the EU in 2020?
We're leaving the EU. I think we will leave in 2020.
Brexit happens. Is there a need for the Brexit Party?
We'll have to rebrand it, won't we?
Nigel Farage, thank you for joining me.